Hey, beautiful people. How is everybody in the house? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, let's see what's popping on IG today. Gonna bring you another interview, hopefully. Another powerful one. Holistic Health for Harry series. Whenever we can, guys. Whenever we can. Evening times is good for me. Hopefully, we're gonna have an interview now with Clayton Thomas, the founder of a wonderful product called Root, a company called Root, and a product called Cleanslate and Urine. It's very powerful products that I'm on and affiliated with now, doing them myself. I'm happy to share with you guys, and yeah, we're just going to learn a little bit more, hopefully. He jumps on about the product, what it is, how he's come to invent it, what he's doing, what kind of moves, growth of the company, why is it so powerful, and all this stuff. So let's see if we can get him on, man. Sandy, yo, I think, oh, the Root brand. Sandy, you on there, man? Cool, cool. We got it? Okay, here we go. For now. Boom town, boom. Ah. Let's see if that happens. Okay, just connecting. Yo!
Are we live?
Yeah, we are. We're live on IG, man. Nice. Thanks for doing it.
I love it.
Nice.
Well,
Sandy's here too.
It's cold outside today. It's here in Nashville.
Where you at? Oh, Nashville. You're not moved to. You're not got to Dubai yet. You're going there soon, right?
No, I got to postpone it a little bit, so that'll be the end of March, and so we're still at home in the cold. So I had to go outside for a little bit. So my hair is all terrible. So I'm keeping the hat on.
Nice, wise. So Clayton, man, like people aren't going to know here, so that's why I wanted you on. You are a powerful person as a founder of a company. You've been in health for a while, and you founded your own company. And I want you to talk today, give us an opportunity to talk again about the company Root that you founded, the products which I'm now affiliated with and doing myself. What these are, these little bottles, right? The magic pills, or as Sandy calls them, the Jesus juice. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the history of what you've been up to, man. How you created this wonderful company.
It's been a fun journey, you know, like you're hitting on, of doing things a little bit different. And your philosophy, I think no one's going to argue, might be a little bit different as well. Because I'm not as advanced as you are. You will not find me drinking my urine. But it's something that I appreciate greatly. But if things got really bad and I ran out of water, you know, for a couple of days, you know what? I'll go that route, but I'm not pushing it that far. But
you're right.
Yeah, I was really fortunate over really my lifetime of being around animal and human medicine, and you know, having a focus in detoxification for the last 16 years and using really nature's most effective and most amazing crystal to do that. And my wife, actually, we just found out yesterday, her first patent, you know, around the process of clean slate was issued in January. We just confirmed that yesterday. And taking my 16 years of experience in the space and her 20 plus years in biotech, and, you know, combined to create some products that really meet the needs of where we are today, more importantly than any point in history. For twofold, like you were touching on, and this is inarguable, and I'm happy to go to bat over it, but there is nothing more important than removing the heavy metals, the glyphosate, the toxins, the chemicals, the molds, the biotoxins. You can go viral particles, getting all of that stuff out of your body. That is step one. I don't care who you are, where you live, where you're from, demographically what your situation is, how much money you have, how much money you don't have, who your parents are. Doesn't matter. We're all poisoned. We're polluted from conception and every day that we're here. So that is number one. And that's what Clean Slate does. And it's You
Does,
get
yeah.
this, and I think your audience will get this more than most, because what we've done is we've taken the nature's most powerful crystal that has
Mhm.
this unique ability to bind and trap toxins, and we made this crystal bioavailable and able to break it up into really small fragments that are then able to circulate through your system. But as you can see with the chakras behind you, the energetic and the quantum component of how crystals resonate with the human body is absolutely amazing. So there's much more going on than a physical aspect of how Clean Slate is functioning. And the only thing that I can say to that is let it go to work in you, because each one of us is a clinical study of one. We're all unique. Our exposure is unique, and our responses are unique. So what happens with me is something that is completely different than what's going to happen for you or anybody else. But the big thing is it's absolute, right? Because we don't have to worry about metabolism. We don't have to worry about, oh, well, you have to add it with this or this or this or other components. It just does what it does and allows your body to become much more vital.
Yeah.
And then the fun part begins, because zero in, and I don't have any in front of me, as I made a challenge to people on Tuesday.
I must admit, Clayton, I haven't got the zero in yet. I bought the Valentine's pack, the zero in, so I'm just working with a clean set at the moment. I can't wait. I interviewed Matt as well, Matt Senna. Don't you know? He told me a lot about them. He said it's like psychedelics, borderline, and yeah, yours is legal. So I can't wait to try it, man. Jesus Christ.
Well, and that's one of the areas that I really love watching what you're doing and what you talk about. And if you go on our YouTube channel, the last piece we did on autism, ADD, and ADHD with Dr. Dori Narbo and Dr. Stefan Rao, we could probably add it on here. Stefan was going over some of the biochemistry of ADD, ADHD, and autism. And because of the mercury issues and some of their vitamin D deficiency issues that come from mercury toxicity and glyphosate, in cases of autism, their serotonin levels are spiked really, really high. Well,
right.
If you have really high serotonin levels in your brain, the serotonin converts to, wait for it, DMT.
Ooh, cool.
So the reason that autistic kids look flighty and they can't pay attention, these kids are tripping the entire time. Because they're actually so high.
Right, I did learn that on your autism video, and you actually asked that great question, because I like the information, but you asked that question that prodded it out of him, and I was like, yes, wow, yeah. So kids are high on DMT because of too much serotonin. That's really cool information.
Because they're toxic, and their serotonin and dopamine is all screwed up, and they don't have the ability to reuptake and work properly. So their serotonin levels are boosted really high, and their brain's converting that to DMT, and they're going,
whoa,
this is great. Yeah. So the interesting part comes in then of really looking at biochemistry and understanding biochemistry, and not looking at it from one perspective, right? Because our brain is this amazing bundle of neurons, right, that are all connected and all firing and communicating, and left side, right side, frontal cortex, rear cortex, every component. There's all these different areas and different way things communicate. So people are looking at how to have that better connected, but you can't do that by adding something. You have to remove what causes the blockages, and that's mercury, lead, and aluminum. So you got to get that stuff out. And then as you're cleaning that out, your neural pathways are going to improve just because of the process. But then if you start playing with neurotransmission, and where does neurotransmission take place, or where are they produced? 95% of the dopamine, the serotonin, the norepinephrine is in your gut.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this is what science is talking about with the gut-brain connection. And this is where glyphosate, the other heavy metals, but also stress come in so heavily, because stress and cortisol actually shuts off dopamine and serotonin production in your gut. And you need dopamine and serotonin to get rid of the stress. So it's this vicious cycle. So, and this is where you'll love Zero In, and I'll hit on some of the stuff that I've been testing the last couple of days that I think you and your audience is going to have a freaking heyday with.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
You can control how much dopamine and serotonin you want your body to work with without the jitters, without the crash. And it is, when we designed it initially, we were looking at it for its ability to improve focus and mental clarity during the day. And it does that really, really well because of how your body will regulate dopamine and serotonin, you know, during the day when you're wanting to work. So if you want to focus, you need to get a bunch of work done. Or if you're dealing with stress, you will crush it. But what some of our customers started to come back with was, well, if you take one at night, you actually sleep better. And it was like, well, hold on a second here. Let's understand these pathways. Because being an adaptogen, right, your body is able to dictate what it wants to do. So as you get closer to nighttime, what takes place? Well, your gut is going to produce more serotonin than dopamine. The serotonin is going to go to your pineal gland, which we decalcify with Cleanslate.
Right.
The serotonin converts to melatonin, and your lights out. And you dream and sleep like you're amazing.
Quick one, Clayton. I heard today, I posted a video about the eyes being the DMT portals on YouTube, and one of my good friends messaged me and said that the precursor to DMT is melatonin. Melatonin's an official precursor. So that ties in with Zero In increases serotonin at nighttime to the right amounts, and it increases melatonin, which converts to higher levels of DMT, is what I'm saying.
That's correct. That's the pathway, right? So, and this is the important part to look at versus trying to do it chemically and bypass the natural pathways, right? It's much like cocaine. And I've had a bunch of people come back to me and go, this stuff's better than Coke. I'm like, I've never done cocaine. I won't touch it, but I understand what cocaine does for boosting dopamine, and it shoots it through the roof and then screws up the uptake, highly addictive, causes heart attacks. It'll cost you your house because it's really expensive. And it's not good for you, but people love the high you get from the dopamine. Well, what if you were able to have that effect without any of the side effects? You were able to control how much you wanted, but your body's going to dictate where it needs to be. And then instead of spiking, you get up to basically cruising altitude, and then you're smooth for 5, 10, 12, 14 hours.
Wow.
Epic.
That's crazy. Right, so you're saying that Zero In puts you to your body's optimal levels of serotonin, dopamine, that you feel fucking fabulous without going too far, because you just said earlier that too much serotonin also fucks it up in kids with ADHD. So it gives you the perfect optimal amounts.
Because your body controls it, and this is what I was testing. Because if we talk health and wellness, right, and we can talk detoxification, and we can talk neurotransmission for health and wellness, and people go, shit, I'm tired of that. You know, there's so much shit on the internet. There's so much stuff out there. I don't need to hear this shit. I hear it all the time. But if you go to your friends and go, dude, this stuff's better than Coke, you got to try this. People go, how about you get me a case of that right now? And how much is it? Oh, it's like $1.30 a pill. Oh yeah, bring it. And so I put a challenge. I put a challenge out for everybody on Tuesday, because I get to have my chats with the crew on Tuesdays. And I was like, you know what? Let's try something a little bit different. Because if 1 capsule or 2 capsules is good, 3, 4,
wait,
5
I know it's going.
Be better.
Yeah, I saw your post. Go on.
One of my kids proved this theory, because he had a friend take 8 capsules at once, and he was like euphoric for 14 hours. And it was like, they were like, look, he was on the best MDMA trip you could ever imagine, because he was so calm, he was so happy, he was loving on everybody, slept like a baby. I was like, wow, well, that's kind of cool. So on but those are things that you typically don't do at night, right? Because you won't go to sleep. So
Right.
on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, when I was here at home and Mama and I were cooking dinner, I took 4 capsules of Zero In at 6 o'clock. We cooked dinner. I was getting chores done. It was amazing. The food we made, we had shrimp and we had Caesar salad and spring rolls and some ramen, and everything tasted amazing because when you eat food, you get a little dopamine hit. So it means it tastes better. So you eat more. But if you have more dopamine before you start, food tastes freaking amazing.
Interesting.
And then we got to hang out, and I got to cash in some fun tickets with Mama. And dude, I know why now people love cocaine, or guys love cocaine, because they want to have sex with everything. And it's insane. So and then we usually will relax to go to bed. You know, we'll watch a TV shows. We're watching The Office right now because I never watched it, and it's a good chance to laugh because laughter is good therapy as well. And I've never laughed so hard in my freaking life. Everything was funnier. But at 10 o'clock, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I passed out. I was in a coma. Woke up, and was like, oh man, this was epic. So then on Wednesday, no, that was Tuesday. So Wednesday, I took 4 at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and my day, got through the day, and we were at home all day or all week.
Right, quickly. So you took 4. You took 4 before you ate the evening. 4 Zero-Ins when you normally recommend 1 or 2. Just to experiment, and you got high off that, basically naturally high, like you said, like cocaine. And then the morning you went and retook 4 again. Wow. Yeah,
and my entire day was phenomenal. Stress management, I can't tell you how amazing it is. But getting everything done, and then dinner and night with Mama was epic. Now here's the crazy thing. Last night and yesterday, I didn't take any because I wanted to see what would happen. So I got through the day, and it was good day. It was a normal day. We sit down for dinner, and the kids were gone, so it's just the 2 of us. And when your wife looks at you and she goes, "You didn't take anything today, did you? Because you're different. You're not as fun." I'm like, "Oh." She's like, you better take more. I'm like, okay.
She said that to you.
Yeah, she did. She's like, I kind of like you when you're up on a few more capsules. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Look at that.
Can't argue with that. Yeah, so
wow, that's crazy.
It's really interesting, right? Because one of the phrases I love to use is just better living through biochemistry. But instead of trying to do it synthetically or artificially, right? What we're able to do now is put your body in the position where it can start doing what we're made to do. Because like you talk about, and like we know, we produce DMT. We're made to do it, right? But what you have to do is clean up the system. It's much like people talk about with cannabinoids, right? And they're like, we have an endocannabinoid system. Well, yeah, we do. And the endocannabinoid system is in place that in mother's breast milk, that there's cannabinoids in breast milk because it makes a baby want to nurse more. Who knew it would give you the munchies?
Yeah.
But over time, those toxins and metals will block those binding sites for the endocannabinoid system, for regular binding sites and such. So that's where a lot of the hangups start, and that's where disease states and everything else kick in. So if you can clean that stuff up, and then you start playing with neurotransmission a little bit, and you go, okay, let me see what I can do with a little more dopamine and a little more serotonin, but your body controls it. And this is what's really cool. If you want to meditate, you will have the greatest meditation session you've ever imagined. You have the greatest workout of your life. If you need to get a bunch of work done, you will be focused, you'll knock it out, and you're good to go. Because it's adaptogenic. Our body is adaptogenic. It adapts to our environment.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
controls it all. We create our environment. So if you clean things up and you start playing with those most amazing neurotransmitters, you dictate your world, and you can control it.
Absolutely, Clayton. I 100% agree with you. Just explain to people, because I think that people are new minds have just not heard much on the IG on the clean slate and your products. So we can backtrack. And by the way, I can't wait for the zero, and I'm super excited. And I will share so much more of my experience. I've just started with your products, thanks to Sandy too. So we're watching shout out. So clean slate is nano zeolite, and I know people in the community go, "Oh well, I've tried zeolite. Oh, I'm on zeolite, Harry. What's different about the clean slate zeolite that you founded and your company has created?" And that I'm finding is beyond fucking powerful. I ain't gonna lie, I take a couple of drops of this, man, and like it does something to me. It's like it slows my breath down, my consciousness. I'd say this is psychedelic too, in a way, the clean slate. So what's going on with your nanozeo? Like, how have you done it and patterned it to make it stand out a little bit? Because I really do think it's different to the others, man. It's different to the other zeolites.
Yeah.
What have you done with it?
Yeah. And I've been in the space for 16 years, so a lot of the products that are on the market, I've either formulated or created or have researched. And it's a couple fold. One, it's source, right? Because you have to start with really high quality ingredients. And we source from probably the best mine in the world that's here in the United States, and it's 97% pure clinoptilolite and 3% bentonite. So our raw is amazing. But what makes it really unique is the process and how we go about it. You can say part of it uses a little bit of ancient theory with current technology, because we use a process of cryogenic fracking and thermal shock, much like our ancestors used to do in caves, where they would start a fire in the cave and heat up all the rocks on the end, cold water, and throw it in the cave, and the water would get inside the cracks and expand and explode, and it would frack the rock. We were able to do that on a much smaller basis with these fragments, or to create the fragments, and then we clean out the cage structure. So to remove any of the heavy metals and the other toxins and viral particles and mold spores that are naturally held in that cage structure. But then we do some unique stuff afterwards, and we add trace minerals, some specific trace minerals to load the cage structure and to exchange, because trace minerals are crucial for metabolic function. You're starting Root. I was arguing with my wife because she's a PhD, PsyD, EDD, Master's in Science, postdoc at Harvard in nanotechnology, bioscience engineering, and at Cornell, and 2 postdocs in pharmaceutical management counseling. Wicked smart, right? She's been in biotech at Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, UCB, GlaxoSmithKline. She was doing mRNA research on HIV like 20 years ago. So the stuff that we're seeing now is not new to her, and it's not good. But we went back and forth on adding the trace minerals. She wanted to do it. I thought, well, let's look and see what happens. So we added the trace minerals to improve function. But the key thing that we really do that no one's ever done before is the polarization process. And basically what that does is enhances the natural negative charge and the energetic potential of the crystals themselves. Right. So that's that's the little special signature of being able to take the crystal, and that's one thing, right? But if you supercharge a crystal, and I think your audience knows this fairly well, that like quartz, people know quartz, rose quartz, maybe shungite, but quartz is a zeolite. Quartz is the same class as clinoptilolite. Clino is just
apologize. Damn. Let's just get into the explanation. Okay, are we
Was
back?
that you or was that me?
I'm not sure. To me, it came across like you, but maybe to you, it came across like I was. I'm not sure. Maybe the audience can tell us in the comments. Not sure. But so this sort of Clinsapolite, which can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay. I'm breaking up now. Okay. Right.
Well, holy cow, Mama's here. When we're gifted with the presence of Dr. Christina Rahm, I don't know if we can have 3 people on here, but
I've never seen it done, Clayton. I've never seen it done. But you were saying the quartz crystal is like the quartz crystal Clinsapolite, which is 97%. So go a little bit into that, like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so clinoptilolite and quartz are siblings, right? They're in the same class of minerals, but clinoptilolite is a lot stronger in its capability, and it does some really, really unique stuff. So that's where we end up with it. So imagine with the power of quartz, if you were able to supercharge it, right, for what it does energetically and what it do. That's basically what we're doing when we put these little crystal fragments inside the bottle, is we supercharge them.
I like that. And just to add quickly as well, the fact that because people in the urine therapy, and I talk a lot about with the aged urine, it's all toxins are positively charged. I'm not sure if you can hear that. So all toxins are the opposite. And something when you get an extremely negative charge, like I feel my breath slows down, breaking up a little bit. And yeah, my breath slows down and I can feel that I know for a fact that what you said about Clinsapolite, it's extremely negatively charged, like dangerously level. Like, I mean, as close, and I've actually had the thought that this might be more powerful. I think I've shared this with some close friends. But I think sometimes this is more powerful than aged urine. Just drops of this. I know that's ridiculous to people, but all I say to people is, well, you go and try this product. Don't just listen to me. I always follow my body.
Yeah, the important part is to let people experience it themselves. And what we've found is if you look at the bottle, we recommend 10 drops in the morning and 10 drops at night, by the bottle. Yep. But what we have found is that it's so strong, we recommend everybody just start with 1. And start with 1 drop in the morning, 1 drop at night, and then every day or every other day increase by a drop. So your body can get acclimated to the process and you can figure out what works best for you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to start slow, because if you're unhealthy, then you go with this, you could get a detoxification reaction and blame the medicine, as people that aren't aware of health do, and say this product doesn't work, it makes me ill. Yeah, because it's too powerful. It probably does. It removes toxins too fast. Oh, Clayton, there's a question I want for you too, by the way. So this one, when I take it, and I've heard it too, when I take it and I do urine therapy after, my urine stinks, man. Like more than normal. Can you please explain why this makes my urine stink so much? Well, this is the funny part with aged urine philosophy and my approach, because urine excretion is the primary detox pathway, right? So when you're using Clean Slate, you're basically pissing out all the bad stuff, really passively. See it in stool. Yep. As well, because when you take a poo, you might have some really cool stuff come out. But with urine, the fragments are going through your system. They'll end up going through your kidneys, and you just pee out all the stuff. And that's the primary mechanism your body uses for flushing stuff, which is why you have to drink more water. And if you want this simple analogy, go eat some asparagus and then, see how kidneys, and you're going to, wow. So if you are doing aged urine philosophy, you really, and I think this is where you come, you really have to let it sit. So all of those heavy metals and all the toxic shit settles. And basically or what you're going to be drinking.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. So this does push out a hell of a lot, primarily into the urine. And at that time, so we can always age the urine. We don't need to do the fresh urine then, because if you take a hell of a lot of metals, it kind of ruins the point if you're retaking all the heavy metals, which this powerfully takes out. This is insane to me, Clayton, because normally when stuff you can take out with aged urine and stuff, especially when you're in a faster state, it's easy to pull toxins out of the body. Unless a product is powerful, and then sometimes when it's really powerful, even when you're not fasting, you can plug deep straight away with just a couple of drops of things. Aged urine's one of them, and this seems to be one of them too. Without even fasting, God knows what happens when I try the experiments, and I will, when I'm completely empty, gone 1, 2, 3 days with no food, no urine, nothing, and I drop this at that point. My God, it just seems to plug at whatever level you're at very powerfully. I can't wait to try this on fasting, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, and if you do that, if you do your fasting and you take some clean slate, and when you've got your zero in, you take a couple zero in while you're fasting, you'll be freaking euphoric.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna try it. Okay, cool. So, how did it come about? How did you find this product? Because I said, your wife and you've been doing this a long time. What motivated you to find it and just focus on the zeolite? This the one for you? Was it an accident with synchronicities? Was it always meant to be from a long time ago?
Yeah, it's a God deal. I mean, it's 16 years ago when I was introduced. It's the one of two times that I've been tapped on the shoulder, right? And when I was first introduced to the first product I worked with in the space, it just came naturally to me. And I remember, being on the phone the first time, and it's like you get that tap and God's like, that's your path, follow it. And went through my journey. And then about 6 years ago, I was in California working with John Sally, and we got to play a little basketball. I didn't get buckets on him, but he ended up going back to New York to actually ended up meeting Christina at an NBA and NFL Players Association conference where she was speaking. And at the meeting, he was like, look, the guys that are here that want you to work with them, you don't need to chat with them, but you got to meet this guy that I just met, because if the two of you come together, you could change healthcare. This is not a joke. And it took him about a week to get us together. And when we got on the phone the first time, and I heard her say hello, I was done. And that was the second tap where, it was, okay, here's your path. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Here's who you're supposed to do it with. And after a 5-minute conversation with her where she was talking about her scientific background, I've actually never put this on video, so this is fun.
Cool. Exclusive. We like that.
It's like
exclusive.
Sorry, my phone was blowing up. So you just gave me an intellectual orgasm, and
oh, nice.
And then she laughed. And then I've never used that term. I'd never used that term before. I've never used it since. That's her. And we talked for like another 10 minutes and going over philosophy and cloning and molecular design work and a bunch of the stuff she's done in biotech and what my philosophies were. And, I just stopped her. I'm like, look, I just have to tell you, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. But, I've told this to three women in my life, my mom, my sister, and my ex-wife. I'm like, I love you. And I was done. It's one of those things that if you ever have that circumstance and you know, and we got to chat a couple times after that. And, she told me, she's like, look, if you want to work with me and we want to have a chance at a relationship, it's going to take 5 years, but you have to move to Nashville. And I was in Seattle. So I packed up my golf clubs, my clothes, and my Jameson, and I moved to Nashville. And, that was 6 years ago. And we took her philosophy, my philosophy, and, this is what's come of it, so, and it's really interesting because we love everything we can do on the spiritual side, with some of our Christian mediums and, going different places. And it's funny because everybody that we talk to is like, oh yeah, this is at least the third time you guys have done this. and you're meant to be together. But this is your path. This is your mission. So being able to walk, right? And I follow a really simple mantra. I follow 3 letters, WTH, walk, teach, and heal.
Walk, teach, and heal. Nice.
Walk, teach, and heal. And when you figure out what your walk is, right? Because each one of us is given different gifts, right? And what we have to figure out is how to use our gifts within our walk, and then figuring out your path. And when you do that, everything just becomes fluid, right? And when you have that person, and as a guy, I can speak as a guy, right? Person that you're made for. And it's like you go over quite a bit with semen retention. If you don't have really good. If you have what I have, semen retention is impossible.
Say that again. If you had, I think you broke up there. So if you had your wife, someone so beautiful, you're like, oh, semen retention. I know the struggle. I know the struggle that's coming to me, Clayton. I'm not stupid. Like sometimes it's easy when I'm single. When you're single, it's easy. Oh, when you've got a beautiful woman, it's like, okay, here's the real practice. Here's the real game. It's so true.
It is, and the ability to have the one that you're made for, and to be able to know that you're aligned in the same journey, and then you get to watch everything come to fruition. Oh, that's what we're playing with live. Is my wife is, I don't think she's from here personally. She's a peacock-corn is what I call her. She's like a unicorn with peacock Pegasus wings, because she functions at a level of which we are unfamiliar. And if you see her, watch her videos, she is the human version of love, right? When you see her, you go, you're not normal. But that's kind of the journey. It's not like, oh, well, we came up with an idea to do this and this is what we wanted to do. Nah, it's well beyond that. And I think that's one of the reasons that when you look at Clean Slate, why is it different? Why does it perform differently? Because she made it. And it's not just the physical process and what we do to it. It's also that it's got her hands on it. She made it. This is her baby. It's got her energy and her love in it. And that's probably more powerful than what the physical properties are as well.
Wow, that's insane. That's like a love story. And I love you're still going and saying all these beautiful things about her. She must be getting so shy. Like, it's amazing. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, she hates it when I get to talk.
Yeah, right. But I know what you mean, Clayton. Like, there's certain times in
I'm back.
right.
I don't know if it's you or me, but
Okay, might be you. I don't know. Maybe they're hitting up with lots of messages coming your end. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I know what it's like when it's beyond problem. It's this destiny, synchronicity to create this. And I've got to say as well, you're refining this product. It's not even like you're sitting amazing product. You guys are constantly. Did you change it from normal water to concentrated seawater? So that's why it tastes seawatery too. And I know that these are all magnifying what's really powerful. So you just in the game, and Matt's hobby as well. You didn't even bump up the price for that one either. You kept it the same price, but still constantly refining it to make it even more powerful. Probably with a 0 in too. That's mad.
Well, and zero in took 3 years to develop and to get that formula really perfect. And then we tested it for 2 more, and that's the key. And it's the beautiful part of having an artist, to where she's never done, right? There's always something. She's like, okay, what can we do to tweak this? How can I make this better? And it's funny because she just had the first patent for the stuff around Clean Slate approved, and she's like, oh, well, I hadn't done all my work at Harvard when I first did that one. So I would do it completely differently now.
Whoa. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, that's crazy. Congrats on the patent too. I saw that. I've been actually the zero in one when you said you took 4 in one night. I couldn't comment on it. I wanted to, so I'm on jail. So, but yeah, man, it's amazing what you guys have done. Can you talk a little bit about Root is growing thanks to you and the actual testimonies of people in the product? I'm sure it's from word of mouth, Clayton. It's growing. Tell us about the numbers of people that are taking a moment, how it's growing, and what you're doing with it.
Yeah, it's the beautiful part of outcomes, right? And actually, my kids are asking for zero in right now, so you gotta move with me.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Gotta have good.
I bet you it makes them so much smarter for exams. I think this is what every kid needs, man. Giving the kids the zero in before school for the tests and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like to remember.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And if you have teenagers, like this, it makes them tolerable.
Yep.
But with our daughter, she has a lot of social anxiety, and she'll take one in the morning and she's calm, she's smooth. And
wow.
And what do we know about dopamine, right? Dopamine actually improves memory retention. So if you go to school or if you're studying, well, you want to retain the information that you're going over. So you boost your dopamine levels. 1, you're actually going to enjoy it. 2, you're going to retain the information that you're acquiring more effectively. And so it works on many aspects.
Yeah, that's fascinating. You see, I remember in school, if I'm being honest, because there's one thing I don't like about the community that I'm in at the moment. Some of them, it's like they don't believe in supplements. I'm everything, Clayton. I'm free. I work with people. I believe supplements work, and I've always believed this. Because I remember at school, when I took high-quality vitamin tablets, the best I could get from a company here, my dad bought them for me. And I know that they'd say that's inorganic, and it didn't go through. But when I took them and I did my tests at school, my memory was just so much on point when I was taking this do for your memory as a kid, or just for your brain. It's just your brain works when you take this shit. I get it.
Yeah. And it's a matter of having the right ingredients and the right amounts and the right combination with the other actives and some catalysts that basically goes click and starts this amazing cascade, and you get to function at a level that really you're unfamiliar with. And that's really the key is, I've done a lot of stuff as, from the time I was 8 years old and starting to take supplements through college as an athlete, and since being out of school, looking at tweaking performance and studying different areas of nutraceuticals and such. Zero in is something that it is the greatest capsule I've ever taken. And I've never seen another nutritional supplement or a nutraceutical, because I really differentiate between those two. This is really a nutraceutical, which is why the warnings on the box are so stern. But I've never seen anything like it. I'm just really glad we made it. And that goes to what you were talking about of how can you grow a community around a product or around products or a philosophy. Well, they have to work. And if you're creating outcomes, right, if people are getting benefit from what they're using, well, then good things happen. But what we did is knowing that we have the goods, right? It's a lot like playing poker. That if you flop the nuts and you're playing poker and you have the winning hand on the flop. So when the first 3 cards are turned over and there's 2 more cards to come, but you already won the hand, you can be really comfortable in how you play that hand, right? Because and we know we've got the goods. We know Clean Slate's absolutely amazing. We know Zero In is amazing because we tested it. So then we created a model. We call it compassionate commerce. that instead of going to get a bunch of money and spending money on advertising on social media and such to have people buy the products so we could keep all the money, we created a business model that really values those who create value, right? Because it's all of us as consumers that through social media or through our experiences, like we're on here now, we're on IG, that we create all of the value for all of these companies because we talk about the things that we like, we go buy them, but we get nothing for it. And those companies are paying the beast, right? That which is aggregating our information, because we're putting this information on a platform that's going to aggregate all of this info to say, hey, the people that are watching this like these things.
Yeah.
Why give them the money? Because if we're the ones creating the value, then we should be the ones receiving the rewards. And that's what we did, is we created a really simple social sharing model that rewards people for sharing things that they like. I think it was Glenn Fry. I think it was Glenn Fry that said it in the Eagles anthology, that shit don't float. And it's so true, because if you sell shit, no one's going to want to buy it. But if you have the goods, well,
you got the goods.
You're going to tell your friends. And if you tell your friends, and maybe your friends tell their friends, who tell their friends, who tell their friends, who tell their friends, that's all value that you created. So you should be rewarded for it, as well as everyone else. Instead of us giving money to Instagram or giving money to Did I lose you?
It's
I keep getting glitchy. I don't know if it's I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm good here, but I think they're trying to hold us down. I started dropping names, and they're like, "Oh no, we're going to cut you off."
They don't like this, what we're talking about. So yeah, they didn't like about the social media sharing, the fact that you don't spend money on advertising, and this kind of product, like you said, it's so powerful and so true. We need reminding. Some things just sell themselves through word of mouth, and that's how companies grow. And I love companies. That's my favorite kind of companies. First of all, I've been honest with you, I don't like to affiliate with things that aren't powerful. That's always been my jam. So I'm more than happy to affiliate with you guys, and I was obviously more than happy to try it, more than happy to get the benefits. But yeah, I like companies that grow organically, like yourself, that understand that it's all about the power of word and testimony and believing. Don't believe what I'm saying. Maybe listen to what I'm saying to try it out for yourself, and then find out the truth, and then pass it on to your friends. And you set up a business model with your company where you can make money doing what you love, which is promoting stuff that actually works and helps people. And it doesn't just help people a little bit, Clayton. Like I said, these kind of things, they don't help people a little bit. They help people a lot. Also, if I'm being completely honest as well, I don't find them particularly expensive. Because I'm also thinking, and I know that people, including myself, aren't loaded with money all the time. Everyone's trying to work hard with money and tight. But then if there is products that are kind of, like you said, $1 40, 0 in a day, this is a bottle costs $80, but you don't use much a day. You use 5-10 drops a day, so it does last. Jesus, man, that's what the future's about. Affordability was also, affordability whilst being powerful and doing a lot. You know, that's why I like psychedelics too. All of the stuff that's cheap that works is good.
Yeah. Well, and being able to tie a lot of that stuff together, right? Because
Okay, lost you again.
Man, I got to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I get.
There with us, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody, by the way. Really appreciate you. I'm learning a lot.
We just need another pair. I need to do your closet.
Are you there?
Okay.
I'll give it right back to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There we go. I can't see you.
Yeah.
But...
Okay, we can hear you. We can see you. I don't know if you can hear me.
You can't see
Yeah.
me? So maybe it is...
No, we can see you. I can see you. We can.
Okay.
We can see you. Yeah, we can see you. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, the business model is absolutely fantastic, and massive props for everything that you're doing, man. How big is the? It must be growing super fast. I've noticed the best companies last year really took off. I think you've only been set up for a year. Is that correct? Only 1 year since the beginning.
We just had our birthday on February 2nd, so we're a COVID baby.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
And, you know, it's funny that the COVID baby is the one that can address it, but
right.
I gotta grab a. Let me see here.
I like it. We're getting intimate portrait into your life too. We're getting very intimate portrait.
That's right.
It's like teenagers taking
chaos,
zero in.
Chaos in my background. Well, if I can get in my closet. I think I locked myself out of my own closet. So there we go. See, I'll show you how my life works here. So I got to keep this under lock and key so my kids don't get in here. But I got my goodies. Mama has the big closet, but that's how I roll.
Wow, what's that?
That's all zero in. If you
Whoa!
got the good, you can stack gold pills like you stack gold.
Good Lord, let's hope the FDA don't come busting that down, breaking it up and telling us it's illegal, man.
Oh heck no, it's too good.
Too good.
That's the good part. If you got the goodies, you got to make sure you have inventory.
Right. Yep.
Let me see here. My kids need more gloves, so I'm trying to solve the problem. And yeah, where else should we go? What else do you want to hit on?
Quickly, how did you make it legal? Because I look at it too, like a little bit, like from your saying the zero in, like from what people are saying in yourself too, and the experiences, like the limitless pills. How did you push the boundaries of legality without making it illegal for people to buy zero in? Because I'm sure you've had problems in the past where people are trying to stop you from getting any of them, even Cleanslate, but I think especially zero in. Was there problems trying to get this out to people, making it legal? Was there people?
That's actually a really good question because, well, I'll hit on both sides. So Cleanslate, clinoptilolite is actually seen in Europe and in most countries as a drug. Even though it's a naturally occurring volcanic crystal, because of how it's been proven to function, its antiviral properties, its anti-cancer properties, and a whole host of other benefits. The natural mineral, it's not approvable as a food additive for nutritional supplementation. And because of our process, really because of Christina's genius, we're able to have the product approved in Canada, which is as difficult as anywhere, and the EU. But here, you want my history? Here's my Irish for you. You got to have your Jameson.
Yeah.
But
oh wow, Irish blood, yeah.
Right. But zero in's the unique one.
Yes.
And
we
all of the components of zero in, you have anhydrous caffeine, vitamin D, mucuna purines, pine bark extract, pure curcuminoids, tyrosine, and theanine. So you have a couple amino acids, and then you have some adaptogens. They're all natural. So there's no drugs. And we actually just got approval in Canada a week and a half ago for zero in, because of how it's formulated. But the bigger thing was some of our athletes came back to us and said, look, this stuff is a little bit of an edge, and there's got to be something illegal in it. So can you validate banned substance free? So we use the banned substances control group to have the testing done to make sure that there's no banned substances in it. So if it's USADA or WADA, that there's no issues with any banned substances or banned chemicals being in the products. It's all natural.
Right. Wow. That's crazy, Clayton. And with it, there's one thing that Matt told me, this makes sense, and you'll resonate, you'll know a lot more too. It's not even what you just named as in the Zero In, the products, which are amazing. It's the synergy between the two that's so complicated. It's not even just the individual. People won't be triggered and think, oh, that's amazing with the products. The things you just listed, they are amazing, by the way. But it's what you're doing with the synergy of all these and like perfection that really makes it stand out, right?
And that's where people really go wrong in this biohacking community is they think, oh, wow, curcumin is amazing, so I'm going to take 1,000 milligrams a day. And the cunipurians is velvet bean seed extract, and it creates L-Dopa, so I'm going to take 500 milligrams a day. And, vitamin D is really important, so I'm going to take, a ton of vitamin D, but you don't take it with the right precursors. And what's so crucial, and you know this, and this is the interesting part that I'm seeing personally, and I'm going to work with Christina to write a paper on this, that if we look at psychedelics, right? Because what are the psychedelics? They're mushrooms, right? It's a fungus. Do you need a lot of them?
No.
Just a little bit, right? We're starting to find that microdosing is much more beneficial than macrodosing. And the same goes in this aspect. If you have really high quality ingredients, which is crucial, right? It's one thing to say, oh, well, we use curcuminoids and we use curcumin. Great. If you use really shitty sources, you're not going to get the active that you want. So you have to get really, really high grade, high quality. But then when you combine them properly, it's a lot like making a cake, right? This is the best example. And if you're making a cake and you have the best ingredients that you can get, you have the farm fresh eggs, you have, pure cane sugar right off, just best sugar you can get. You have the best source of cricket flour or whatever, high quality flour you want, so you don't have glyphosate and everything in it. And you get the best milk right out of the cow, the goat, whatever you want. And you have the best ingredients, but then you use 27 eggs, 6 cups of salt, a little bit of flour, and you mix it all up, you're not going to get the right results. So you have to use the right ingredients with the right recipe. And that's what took 3 years to get right, was not just, okay, these ingredients are all going to work together, but how much of each one is needed, and it's not a lot. And then which catalysts do you need to add to those to get them to kick in quicker? And when you combine them all together, you go, oh boy, you can take 1 capsule and it's the equivalent of 5 megs of Adderall, versus if you look at and I don't even really call it competition because there isn't another product on the market that does what this does. But if you look at other nootropic products, you have companies that put everything in the kitchen sink into it, and they say you need to take 6 or 7 capsules at once to get a benefit. And I'm like, you only need 1. And if you take 2, 3, 4, I've only done 4. I haven't done more. I don't need more. But I mean, if you did with Zero In what other companies say you need to do with their products, you wouldn't come down for the entire day. You'd be so freaking euphoric and amazing that people would just come up to you like, dude, whatever you're on, I want it. And I don't care how much it is. And that's why we found, like, with some of my youngins, I have a 25-year-old that was one of my first test subjects, and he went to a bar here in Nashville and sold, I think he sold 40 capsules in one night for $4 a capsule.
Whoa. Yeah.
Because
wonder what happened to the kids.
One capsule to a friend, And she snapped out of being drunk in like 15 minutes. And eyes were open. She was chatting with everybody. And her friends came up to him and was like, whatever you just gave her, I want it.
Yeah.